everyone, Miss GoElectric here. Today is Sunday, August 16th, 2026, and this is The Current, your weekly EV news in about 10 minutes. This episode is made possible by support from our sponsors, Octopus Energy and EV Dance. EV Dance is a leader in EV charging accessories and equipment. Many times on road trips, I've booked hotels with level 2 overnight charging, only to find internal combustion vehicles or a snowdrift blocking the dispenser. That meant I'd lose time and money making an extra DC fast charging stop the next day. If I had the EV Dance 20 to 40 foot level 2 extension cables, which support charging up to 50 amps, I could have plugged in from several stalls away. They're available with NACS or J1772 connectors and are ETL certified with a 1-year warranty. Viewers like you can use the discount code MISSGoElectric for 25% off at the EV Dance store. Octopus Energy is an international renewable energy retailer with more than 10 million global customers. This week, I published a 2-part video series in partnership with the Octopus US team. The first is an informative interview with their VP of Retail Sales from their headquarters in Houston, Texas, which you can watch on the Miss GoElectric Industry channel or by clicking here. The second is a fun vidblog on this channel which details our recent scorching, desolate, and greatly simplified 1,000-mile EV road trip. I used a beta development version of their brand new Octopus Charge app to find, initiate, and seamlessly pay for charging station sessions across many networks along the way. Learn more about Octopus Energy at octopusenergy.com and be sure to watch the new videos. I think you'll find some useful nuggets in there. I've added links to all this and more in the video description. On to the news. General Motors has sold its stake in their battery joint venture with Samsung SDI to Samsung SDI, where their unfinished new Carlisle, Indiana battery factory is nearing completion. Samsung SDI acquired GM's roughly 49% stake in their $3.5 billion Synergy Cells joint venture, taking full ownership of the 680-acre plant site. The plant's building shell is complete, but production equipment has not yet been installed and mass production has not yet begun. The original joint venture was finalized in 2024 with plans to produce NCA-based cells primarily for GM EVs starting in 2027. The project targeted an initial annual capacity of 27 gigawatt hours with the possibility to reach up to 36 gigawatt hours. Under the new arrangement, Samsung SDI plans to complete the plant and initially focus on batteries for energy storage systems. Which sounds familiar, doesn't it? The companies are not fully parting ways though. They signed a separate agreement to co-develop next-generation prismatic batteries, prioritizing high energy density and fast charging capability for potential future GM EV applications. The Indiana plant could eventually produce those jointly developed cells. The same week, GM and LG Energy Solution prepared to restart battery cell production at their Ultium Cells joint venture plant in Warren, Ohio, after a roughly 7-month shutdown. The partner's Spring Hill, Tennessee Ultium Cells plant has been retooled to produce lithium iron phosphate, or LFP cells, primarily for energy storage systems rather than EVs. Back in May of 2025, GM sold its stake in the planned Lansing, Michigan Ultium Cells plant to joint venture partner LG Energy Solutions. GM's remaining North American cell production capacity through the LG Energy Solution joint venture stands at around 45 gigawatt hours. This is down sharply from earlier broader public plans for at least 140 gigawatt hours. GM sold 169,887 fully electric vehicles last year. For reference, Tesla's battery factories produce about 100 gigawatt hours of capacity annually for their EV, charging, and energy storage businesses. They sold about 1.6 million EVs globally last year. GM has been promoting lithium manganese-rich, or LMR, battery chemistry for EVs starting in 2028 as part of a mixture of likely solutions, including those developed externally. GM continues new investment into its internal combustion products as well. Kia has announced pricing for the all-new 2027 EV3, making the compact 5-seater electric SUV the most affordable EV in the brand's US lineup. The model has a 400-volt architecture across all trim levels. The base light front-wheel drive model starts at $29,890 MSRP, plus a $1,495 destination fee, and uses a 58.3 kilowatt-hour battery, offering an EPA estimated 221 miles of range. The EV3 Wind, Land, GT line, and GT models step it up to an 81.4 kilowatt-hour pack for up to 321 miles of range with the front-wheel drive powertrain, or about 280 miles with all-wheel drive. These higher trims are priced from $34,990 for the Wind front-wheel drive up to $45,890 for the GT all-wheel drive. Single-motor front-wheel drive models produce 201 horsepower, while the dual-motor all-wheel drive versions make 261 horsepower, and the top GT trim reaches 288 horsepower with 345 pound-feet of torque, while adding simulated gear shifts with active sound. Every EV3 comes standard with plug-and-charge capability and a native NACS charging port for Tesla Supercharger access. All models can DC fast charge from 10 to 80% in roughly 30 minutes. Vehicle-to-load capability and one-pedal regenerative braking are also standard. The infotainment system supports wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It also comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Notable available add-ons include a digital key 2.0, head-up display, blind spot monitoring, 360-degree camera, streaming entertainment, AI assistant voice command system, and a suite of advanced driver assistance safety features. The EV3 has been built in South Korea since 2024, but the company just started production at a second facility in Mexico for regional distribution, including the US. The vehicle is expected to arrive at US and Canadian dealerships later this month. As we hinted in last week's episode, Lucid Motors did unveil the Gravity GTS at Monterey Car Week in Pebble Beach, California. The high-performance variant of the Gravity electric SUV is now known as America's most powerful three-row SUV. The dual-motor all-wheel drive powertrain produces 1,070 horsepower, enabling a 0 to 60 mile/hour sprint in 3.1 seconds and a top speed of 155 miles per hour. Projected range stands at 373 miles, and standard equipment includes the dynamic handling package with independent rear-wheel steering and an adaptive 3-chamber air suspension to support the increased performance. Distinctive styling cues feature blue exterior accents, blue painted brake calipers, and blue interior details such as stitching, piping, seatbelts, and steering wheel accents that echo the sapphire theme in the Lucid Air. The GTS sits above the Touring and Grand Touring trim levels in the Gravity lineup. Pricing starts at $125,900 and will only be available in the United States. Orders are now open, with deliveries expected in late 2026. Our friends at UL Research Institute's Fire Safety Research Institute have released a major report offering first responders practical evidence-based tactics for handling electric vehicle battery fires. The findings in the report challenge some commonly held perceptions related to internal combustion and EV fires. Researchers conducted a multi-year study which included full-scale free burns on 9 popular modern North American vehicles, including 6 EVs with fully charged lithium-ion packs induced into thermal runaway, and 3 internal combustion engine vehicles ignited in the engine compartment. Once ignited, all of the vehicles typically burned out in about 90 minutes. Data showed that EV and internal combustion engine vehicle fires were similar in fire growth rate, peak fire size and heat release rate, and overall fire duration. The study also referenced reporting from NIPV that the majority of EV fires do not involve the battery pack. The research showed that fire dynamics and much of the associated chemical hazard were driven primarily by combustion of passenger compartment materials like plastics and fabrics. Fire behavior was similar across powertrain types. On average, the EVs released more total energy, but researchers attributed this to the greater mass of the vehicles rather than any unique property of the battery combustion. There was more variability in fire growth rates among the EVs, linked to the delay between the onset of battery thermal runaway and the appearance of visible flames, which would consume the rest of the vehicle. In the study, 9 additional EVs were ignited and different fire control strategies were used to elevate fire control strategy effectiveness as well as other important operational considerations. The report explicitly stated that despite anecdotal concerns about major differences, no evidence was found that EVs burn hotter or last longer than their conventional counterparts. These results challenge widespread prior assumptions and some earlier claims that EV fires are fundamentally more intense, hotter, or longer lasting. Conventional wisdom and popular narratives had often suggested that modern EV battery fires burn with greater severity or pose a distinctively more volatile hazard in terms of peak size and duration. The UL findings align with several earlier peer-reviewed full-scale studies, which concluded that peak heat release rate and total heat release are influenced more by vehicle size, model, and cabin materials than by powertrain type, and that the battery contribution is often secondary once the passenger compartment is fully involved. With a total of 18 vehicles burned, they found important differences between EV and ICE fires still exist outside the bulk heat release metrics, including elevated levels of battery-related materials like nickel, manganese, and cobalt in EV smoke and runoff, greater reignition risks due to stranded energy in the battery pack, and the practical reality that water cannot stop thermal runaway once it's underway, even though water remains effective for controlling the cabin fire and exposures. Of course, with the increasing prevalence of LFP batteries in today's most accessible EVs, fires are less likely and do not involve nickel, manganese, or cobalt at all. Battery chemistries and pack designs are already undergoing dramatic advancements to eliminate fire risks in EVs altogether. As we've previously reported, China has an active mandate requiring all EV makers to sell new vehicles with batteries that cannot catch fire at all. The full report from UL, the decision aid, and the experimental dataset are now available through FSRI resources and are being implemented in upcoming training courses. I'll link the research in the description below if you want to dive deeper into this report. Once again, thank you to Octopus Energy and EV Dance for making the current possible this week. You can find links to both of our fresh Octopus Charge app videos and the discount link to save 25% off at EV Dance with our exclusive discount code GoElectric in this video's description. Well, that wraps up this episode of the current weekly EV news. Until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.